Hello friends, happy hump day, which is very much what Act 3 of Titus Andronicus feels like. Does that mean we're over the worst of it? Well, yes and no. It's very weird to be doing an act a day with something like this because we come straight into the emotion of Act 2, generated by the story so far. Titus Andronicus had 25 children, 5 at the beginning of the play. 1, a son, he murders while the son was trying to protect his sister Lavinia from being taken away by the Emperor Saturnine, who now dislikes the entire Andronicus family. 2 more of Titus's sons have now been framed for the murder of Lavinia's husband, Bassianus. Lavinia herself, on the advice of a complete villain called Aaron, has been raped by the emperor's sons-in-law, Chiron and Demetrius. Titus' brother Marcus then finds Lavinia with her tongue cut out and her hands cut off to stop her telling anyone what happened to her or who did it. So Titus's children now number 4, Lucius, Lavinia, and Quintus and Marcius, framed for Bassianus' death. And then we go straight into it. Oh, and Aaron reappears in this scene, so there'll be lots of people saying lots of horrible things about the colour of his skin. Be warned about that. I just want to pick up on a detail I said in the video to Act 1 when I said this was seen as Shakespeare's least liked play. That's not true of the time that it was written. It was hugely popular. This act might give you some idea why, because there are a lot of tropes in it that continue to be popular to this day. We'll see what you think. Enjoy. Ta-da! Act 3, Scene 1. Enter the judges, tribunes, and senators, with Titus' 2 sons, Marcius and Quintus, bound, passing over the stage to the place of execution, and Titus going before, pleading,
"Hear me, grave fathers, noble tribunes, stay, for pity of mine age, whose youth was spent in dangerous wars whilst you securely slept, for all my blood in Rome's great quarrels shed, for all the frosty nights that I have watched, and for these bitter tears which now you see filling the ancient wrinkles in my cheeks, be pitiful to my condemned sons, whose souls is not corrupted as 'tis thought. For 22 sons I never wept, because they died in honest lofty bed."
Andronicus lieth down, and the judges pass by him.
"For these 2 tributes, in the dust I write my heart's deep languor and my soul's sad tears. Let my tears studge the earth's dry appetite. My son's sweet blood will make it shame and blood."
Exeunt all but Titus.
"O earth, I will befriend thee more with rain that shall distill from these 2 ancient ruins than youthful April shall with all his showers. In summer's drought I'll drop upon thee still. In winter with warm tears I'll melt the snow and keep eternal springtime on thy face, so thou refuse to drink my dear son's blood."
Enter Lucius with his weapon drawn.
"O reverend tribute, O gentle aged men, unbind my sons, reverse the doom of death, and let me say that never wept before. My tears are now prevailing orators."
"O noble father, you lament in vain. The tribunes hear you not. No man is by, and you recount your sorrows to a stone."
"Ah, Lucius, for thy brothers let me plead. Grave tribunes, once more I entreat of you."
"My gracious lord, no tribune hears you speak."
"Why, 'tis no matter, man. If they did hear, they would not mark me. If they did mark, they would not pity me, yet plead I must. Therefore I tell my sorrows to the stones, who, though they cannot answer my distress, yet in some sort they're better than the tribunes, for that they will not intercept my tale. When I do weep, they humbly at my feet receive my tears, and seem to weep with me. And were they but attired in grave weeds, Rome could afford no tribunes like to these. The stone is soft as wax, tribunes more hard than stones. A stone is silent and offendeth not, and tribunes with their tongues do men to death. But wherefore standst thou with thy weapon drawn?"
"To rescue my 2 brothers from their death, for which attempt the judges have pronounced my everlasting doom of banishment."
"O happy man!
They have befriended thee. Why, foolish Lucius, dost thou not perceive that Rome is but a wilderness of tigers? Tigers must prey, and Rome affords no prey but me and mine. How happy art thou then from these devourers to be banished? But who comes with our brother Marcus? Here, enter Marcus with Lavinia. Titus, prepare thy aged eyes to weep, or, if not so, thy noble heart to break. I bring consuming sorrow to thine age. Oh, will it consume me? Well, let me see it then. This was thy daughter. Why, Marcus, so she is. Ay me, this object kills me. Faint-hearted boy, rise and look upon her. Lucius rises. Speak, Lavinia. What accursed hand hath made thee handless in thy father's sight? What fool hath added water to the sea, or brought a faggot to bright burning Troy? My grief was at the height before thou camest, and now, like Nilus, it disdaineth bounds. Give me a sword. I'll chop off my hands too, for they have fought for Rome, and all in vain, and they have nursed this woe in feeding life. In bootless prayer have they been held up, and they have served me to effectless use. Now all the service I require of them is that the one will have to cut the other. 'Tis well, Lavinia, that thou hast no hands, for hands to do Rome's service is but vain. Speak, gentle sister, who hath martyred thee? Oh, that delightful engine of her thoughts that blab them with such pleasing eloquence is torn from forth that pretty hollow cage where, like a sweet melodious bird, it sung sweet varied notes enchanting every ear. Oh, say thou for her, what hath done this deed? Oh, thus I found her straying in the park, seeking to hide herself as doth the deer that hath received some unrecurring wound. It was my dear, and he that wounded her hath hurt me more than had he killed me dead. For now I stand as one upon a rock, environed with a wilderness of sea, who marks the waxing tide grow wave by wave, expecting ever when some envious surge will in his brinish bowels swallow him. This way to death my wretched sons are gone. Here stands my other son, a banished man, and here my brother weeping at my woes. But that which gives my soul the greatest spurn is dear Lavinia, dearer than my soul. Had I but seen thy picture in this plight, it would have maddened me. What shall I do now I behold thy lively body so? Thou hast no hands to wipe away thy tears, no tongue to tell me who hath martyred thee. Thy husband, he is dead, and for his death thy brothers are condemned, and dead by this. Look, Marcus, our son, Lucius, look on her. When I did name her brothers, and fresh tears stood on her cheeks, as doth the honeydew upon a gathered lily almost withered. Or perchance she weeps because they killed her husband, or perchance because she knows them innocent. If they did kill thy husband, then be joyful, because the law hath ta'en revenge on them. No, they would not do so foul a deed. Witness the sorrow that their sister makes. Gentle Lavinia, let me kiss thy lips, or make some sign how I may do thee ease. Shall thy good uncle and thy brother Lucius and thou and I sit round about some fountain, looking all downwards to behold our cheeks, how they are stained, its meadows not yet dry with miry slime left on them by a flood, and in the fountain shall we gaze so long, till the fresh taste be taken from that clearness and made a brine pit with our bitter tears? Or shall we cut away our hands like thine? Or shall we bite our tongues, and in dumb shows pass the remainder of our hateful days? What shall we do? Let us that have our tongues plot some device of further misery to make us wondered at in time to come. Sweet father, cease your tears, for at your grief see how my wretched sister sobs and weeps. Patience, dear niece. Good Titus, dry thine eyes. Ah, Marcus, brother, well I wot thy napkin cannot drink a tear of mine, for thou, poor man, hast drowned it with thine own. Ah, my Lavinia, I will wipe thy cheeks. Marcus. I understand her signs. Had she a tongue to speak, now would she say that to her brother, which I said to thee, his napkin with his true tears all bewet can do no service on her sorrowful cheeks. Oh, what a symphony of woe is this, as far from help as limbo is from bliss. Enter Aaron the Moor, alone. Titus Andronicus, my lord the emperor, sends thee this word, that If thou love thy sons, let Marcus, Lucius, or thyself, old Titus, or any one of you, chop off your hand and send it to the king. He for the same will send thee thither both thy sons alive, and that shall be the ransom for their fault. Oh, gracious emperor! Oh, gentle Aaron, did ever raven sing so like a lark that gives sweet tidings of the sun's uprise? With all my heart I'll send the emperor my hand. Good Aaron, wilt thou help me chop it off? Stay, father, for that noble hand of thine that hath thrown down so many enemies shall not be sent. My hand will serve the turn. My youth can better spare my blood than you, and therefore mine shall save my brothers' lives. Or which of your hands hath not defended Rome, and reared aloft the bloody battle-axe, writing destruction on thy enemy's castle? Oh, none of both, but out of high desert my hand hath been but idle. Let it serve to ransom my two nephews from their death. Then have I kept it to a worthy end. Why, come, agree whose hand shall go along, for fear they die before the pardon come. My hand shall go. By heaven, it shall not go. So strive no more. Such withered herbs as these are meet for plucking up, and therefore mine. Sweet father, if I shall be thought thy son, let me redeem my brothers both from death, and for our father's sake and mother's care. Now let me show a brother's love to thee. Well, agree between you, I will spare my hand. Then I'll go fetch an axe, but I will use the axe. Excellent, Lucius and Marcus. Come here, Aaron. I'll deceive them both. Lend me thy hand, and I will give thee mine. Aaron aside. Or if that be called deceit, I will be honest, and never whilst I live deceive men so. But I'll deceive you in another sort, and that you'll say, half an hour pass? He cuts off Titus' hand. Enter Lucius and Marcus again. Now stay your strife. What shall be is dispatched. Good Aaron, give his majesty my hand. Tell him it was a hand that warded him from 1,000 dangers. Bid him bury it. More hath it merited, that let it have. As for my sons, say I account of them as jewels purchased at an easy price. And yet dear too, because I bought mine own. I go, Andronicus, and for thy hand look by and by to have thy sons with thee. Their heads, I mean. Oh, how this villainy doth fat me with the very thoughts of it. Let fools do good, and fair men call for grace. Aaron will have his soul black like his face. Exit. Here I lift this one hand up to heaven, and bow this feeble ruin to the earth. He kneels. If any power pities wretched tears, to that I call. Oh, what wouldst thou kneel with me? Do then, dear heart. To Lavinia, who kneels. For heaven shall hear our prayers. Or with our sighs will breathe the welkin demon, stain the sun with fog, as sometime clouds, when they do hug him in their melting bosoms. Oh, brother, speak with possibility, and do not break into these deep extremes. Is not my sorrows deep, having no bottom? Then be my passions bottomless with them. But let reason govern thy lament. If there were reason for these miseries, then into limits could I bind my woes. When heaven doth weep, doth not the earth o'erflow? If the winds rage, doth not the sea wax mad, threatening the welkin with his big swollen face? And wilt thou have a reason for this coil? I am the sea. Hark how her sighs doth blow. She is the weeping welkin. I the earth. Then must my sea be moved with her sighs. Then must my earth with her continual tears become a deluge overflowed and drowned. For why my bowels cannot hide her woes, but like a drunkard must I vomit them. Then give me leave, for losers will have leave to ease their stomachs with their bitter tongues. Enter a messenger with 2 heads and a hand. Worthy Andronicus, ill art thou repaid for that good hand thou sent'st the emperor. Here are the heads of thy 2 noble sons, and here's thy hand in scorn to thee sent back. Thy grief, their sports, thy resolution mocked. That woe is me to think upon thy woes more than remembrance of my father's death. He sets down the heads and hand. Exit. Marcus. Now let hot Etna cool in Sicily, and be my heart an ever-burning hell. These miseries are more than may be borne. To weep with them that weep doth ease some deal, but sorrow flouted is a double death. Lucius. Ah, that this sight should make so deep a wound, and yet detested life not shrink thereat, that ever death should let life bear his name, where life hath no more interest but to breathe. Lavinia kisses Titus. Alas, poor heart, that kiss is comfortless as frozen water to a starving snake. When will this fearful slumber have an end? Now, farewell, flattery, die, Andronicus, thou dost not slumber. See thy 2 sons' heads, thy warlike hand, thy mangled daughter here, the other banished son with this dear sight struck pale and bloodless, and thy brother, I, even like a story image, cold and numb. Ah, now no more will I control thy griefs. Rend off thy silver hair, thy other hand gnawing with thy teeth, and be this dismal sight the closing up of our most wretched eyes. Now is the time to storm. Why art thou still? Why dost thou laugh? It fits not with this hour.
Why, I have not another tear to shed. Besides, this sorrow is an enemy, and would usurp upon my watery eyes, and make them blind with tributary tears. And which way shall I find revenge's cave? For these 2 heads do seem to speak to me, and threat me I shall never come to bliss till all these mischiefs be returned again, even in their throats that hath committed them. Come, let me see what task I have to do.
He and Lavinia rise. You, heavy people, circle me about, that I may turn me to each one of you, and swear unto my soul to right your wrongs. Marcus, Lucius, and Lavinia circle Titus. He pledges them. The vow is made. Come, brother, take a head, and in this hand the other will I bear, and Lavinia, thou shalt be employed. Bear thou my hand, sweet wench, between thine arms. As for thee, boy, go get thee from my sight. Thou art an exile, and thou must not stay. Hie to the Goths, and raise an army there. And if ye love me, as I think you do, let's kiss and part, for we have much to do. They kiss, exeunt all but Lucius. Farewell, Andronicus, my noble father, the woefulest man that ever lived in Rome. Farewell, proud Rome, till Lucius come again. He loves his pledges dearer than his life. Farewell, Lavinia, my noble sister. Oh, would thou wert as thou tofore hast been. But now nor Lucius nor Lavinia lives, but in oblivion and hateful griefs. If Lucius live, he will requite your wrongs, and make proud Saturnine and his empress beg at the gates like Tarquin and his queen. Now will I to the Goths, and raise a power to be revenged on Rome and Saturnine. Exit. Scene 2. A banquet. Well, a meal. Enter Titus Andronicus, Marcus, Lavinia, and the boy, young Lucius. So Lucius's son. So, now sit, and look you eat no more than will preserve just so much strength in us as will revenge these bitter woes of ours. They sit. Marcus, unknit that sorrow-wreathen knot. Thy niece and I, poor creatures, want our hands, and cannot passionate our tenfold grief with folded arms. This poor right hand of mine is left to tyrannize upon my breast, who, when my heart all mad with misery beats in this hollow prison of my flesh, to thus I thump it down. Thou, map of woe, that thus dost talk in signs, when thy poor heart beats with outrageous beating, thou canst not strike it thus to make it still. Wound it with sighing, girl. Kill it with groans, or get some little knife between thy teeth, and just against thy heart make thou a hole, that all the tears that thy poor eyes let fall may run into that, sink, and, soaking in, drown the lamenting fool in sea-salt tears. Fie, brother, fie! Teach her not thus to lay such violent hands upon her tender life. How now? Has sorrow made thee dote already? Why, Marcus, no man should be mad but I. What violent hands can she lay on her life? Wherefore dost thou urge the name of hands, to bid Aeneas tell the tale twice over, how Troy was burnt and he made miserable? Oh, handle not the theme, to talk of hands, lest we remember still that we have none. Fie, how frantically I square my talk, as if we should forget we had no hands, if Marcus did not name the word of hands. Come, let's fall to, and gentle girl, heed this. Why, here is no drink. Hark, Marcus, what she says? I can interpret all her martyred signs. She says she drinks no other drink but tears, brewed with her sorrow, mashed upon her cheeks. Speechless complainer, I will learn thy thought. In thy dumb action will I be as perfect as begging hermits in their holy prayers. Thou shalt not sigh, nor hold thy stamps to heaven, nor wink, nor nod, nor kneel, nor make a sign, but I of these will wrest an alphabet, and by still practice learn to know thy meaning. Good grandsire, leave these bitter deplements, make my heart merry with some pleasing tale. Alas, the tender boy in passion moved doth weep to see his grandsire's heaviness. Peace, tender sapling, thou art made of tears, and tears will quickly melt thy life away. What dost thou strike at, Marcus, with thy knife? All that I have killed, my lord. The fly. Out on thee, murderer! Thou killest my heart! Thine eyes are cloyed with view of tyranny, a deed of death, none of the innocent becomes not Titus, brother. Get thee gone! I see thou art not for my company. Alas, my lord, I have but killed a fly. But how if that fly had a father? Brother, how would he hang his slender gilded wings and buzz lamenting dirges in the air? Poor harmless fly, that with his pretty buzzing melody came here to make us merry. And thou killedst him! Pardon me, sir. It was a black, ill-favoured fly, like to the Empress more. Therefore I killed him. Then pardon me for reprehending thee, for thou hast done a charitable deed. Give me thy knife. I will insult on him, flattering myself as if it were the Moor come hither purposely to poison me. Dash for thyself, and not for Tamara. Ah, sir, yet I think we're not brought so low, but that between us we can kill a fly that comes in likeness of a cold black Moor. Alas, poor man, grief has so wrought on him, he takes false shadows for true substances. Come, take away Louis, go with me. Out to thy closet, and go read with thee sad stories, chanced in the times of old. Come, boy, go with me, thy sight is young, and thou shalt read when mine begin to dazzle. Excellent. And that is the end of Act 3. Act 2 is there, and Act 4, when I finish that, will go up there. I'm off to wash my hair. Thank you for watching. If you want to leave tips, if you want to leave comments, all is welcome. I hope you're all doing tremendously. Goodbye.